Developing now, a Milwaukee County judge ruling a special prosecutor to be appointed to review the 2016 shooting death of Jay Anderson Jr. by former Wauwatosa police officer Joseph Mensah. Now, all this after the judge found probable cause does exist that Mensah committed the crime of homicide by negligent use of a dangerous weapon. Fox 6's Bill Miston joining us live now with this story. Bill?
Good evening, Mary. The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office cleared Mensah in this shooting of Anderson, as well as two other shootings Mensah was involved in over the span of 5 years of his tenure with the Wauwatosa Police Department. But Anderson's family petitioned the court requesting it to review the case. And today, Judge Glenn Yamahiro bringing down his decision. It's important to note, Mensah has not been charged with a crime. That is now up to a special prosecutor, but today's ruling a long-fought victory for Anderson's family.
Based upon the totality of the circumstances, the court does find probable cause that Officer Joseph Mensah operated a weapon in a manner constituting criminal negligence, and in so doing, caused the death of Jay Anderson Jr.
As Judge Glenn Yamahiro read his ruling, a cheer going up from the crowd gathered outside the courtroom as stifled cries were heard from within.
I just broke down and cried.
A relief. For 5 years, we've been waiting for this.
Anderson was shot and killed by then Wauwatosa police officer Joseph Mensah in Madison Park in the early morning hours of June 23, 2016. Hearings over several months with expert witnesses brought in by the attorney for Anderson's family, as well as family and former Wauwatosa Police Chief Barry Weber recounting the case. That case brought under a seldom used part of the state's John Doe statute, allowing for a complaint to be filed if a district attorney refuses to issue a complaint, a long-standing statute serving as a check on prosecutors, allowing for judicial review. Based on the evidence presented, Yamahiro agreed there were a number of alternative choices Mensah could have chosen, poor tactical decisions made that night by Mensah, and that the record indicates Anderson never lunged for a weapon as Mensah claimed.
There's always been probable cause to have found Joseph Mensah, that he should have been charged with a crime.
Now, a special prosecutor will be appointed within the next 60 days and a charging determination made whether or not to charge Mensah with homicide by negligent use of a dangerous weapon or not to. Messages left for Mensah's attorney went unreturned, but the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, we reached out to them for comment about this, and they said they aren't commenting on the matter. A lot of moving pieces as a part of this and reaction coming in all over as well as including in Wauwatosa, where I'm joined by Angelica Sanchez now, who spoke with now installed Chief James McGillis about the decision today and has more reaction from the ruling. Angelica.
Well, Bill, families today are simply overwhelmed by the ruling, and Tosa's new police chief tells us that he has reached out to the Anderson family.
Justice for one is justice for all three families.
Cheers and applause surround the families of 17-year-old Alvin Cole and those of 29-year-old Antonio Gonzalez.
I mean, overwhelming. I'm very, very pleased and humble, for the community support.
They were at the county courthouse to support the family of 25-year-old Jay Anderson. All three were shot and killed by former Wauwatosa police officer Joseph Mensah in the line of duty, all within a 5-year span. Prosecutors cleared Mensah in each case, but all three families are fighting for Mensah to face charges in their deaths.
Now we can celebrate a little bit because we got our justice that we've been fighting for.
On Wednesday, a Milwaukee County judge found probable cause to charge Mensah in the fatal shooting of Jay Anderson. Tosa's new police chief, James McGillis, told reporters he has reached out to the Anderson family
to express my condolences for their loss of their loved one, a son, a family member. That conversation was and will remain private.
He said he is praying for their healing.
Fair and impartial policing is our highest priority, while recognizing the human beings that are affected by our public safety efforts.
On his third day on the job, he says his focus is to build trust with the community.
My role is to lead this department, look at processes, look at how we function as an organization.
Now, Mensah did eventually resign from the Tosa Police Department and now works for the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department. We've learned the sheriff there is reviewing all of his options and plans to have a statement later on. And now I'm going to bring back my colleague Bill. And Bill, the judge in this case raised several questions about how officer-involved deaths are investigated in the state of Wisconsin.
That's right, Angelica. Judge Yamahiro raising structural questions about how officer-involved deaths are investigated by outside agencies and how charging decisions are then made by prosecutors, law enforcement officers and prosecutors that often have close working relationships with the entities that they are requested and asked to then investigate. Now, state law was changed nearly a decade ago to require outside agencies to investigate officer-involved deaths as an independent entity. Yamahiro not pointing fingers at any particular agency or district attorney's office, but saying the Anderson shooting investigation was, quote, replete with things that shouldn't have been done and things that should have been done. Yamahiro adding it's unreasonable for law enforcement agencies that often border one another and often work together to then turn around and investigate serious matters like officer-involved deaths and set those prior relationships aside.
If there is a serious desire to achieve maximum objectivity and independence in these investigations, the current statutory requirements are likely to continue to frustrate those goals.
And those statutory requirements are made by lawmakers. I did speak with Milwaukee State Representative David Bowen, who was here at the courthouse this morning and afternoon for that hearing, and I asked him questions about the questions raised by Judge Yamahiro. He says that he hopes that statutes can be changed here in the state to require the Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation to handle officer-involved deaths as an independent entity and taking charging decisions out of the hands of county prosecutors. Obviously, a lot of that would have to be left up to lawmakers. Mary?
All right, Bill, thank you.